and welcome to the YourTown television program. My name is Joy Anderson and I'm the Member Relations Manager with the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to welcome my guest this morning. That is Doug Thurston, who is the Executive Director of the Big Sur International Marathon. Good morning, Doug.
Hello, Joy.
How are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you.
Fantastic. The Big Sur International Marathon, and I love the word international because it truly is an event that people from all over the world participate in and attend. But tell me a little bit about the Big Sur International Marathon and maybe a little bit of history and how this all started.
Thank you. This is our 32nd year, and it began by Judge Bill Burley, a Monterey County judge who lived in Big Sur and saw the sign right at Highway 1 and Rio Road, which a lot of people see now, that says Big Sur 26 miles. And this was in 1985. And he decided, you know, we should try to put a marathon on. Of course, it was not easy to close down Highway 1 for runners. But the first race did happen in 1986, and some people thought it would never happen again. But here we are. This will be our 32nd race at the end of April.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, and it's grown.
It has. It's grown not only in numbers of participants in the marathon, which it's limited to 4,500, and it sells out every year, more popular than ever. We actually have a random drawing where 3 times as many people apply than are accepted. Yeah, so there's a great demand to run the marathon. But now we also have 5 other races along Highway 1, a 21-miler, a 10.6-miler, a 12K, which is 7.4 miles, a 5K, and a 4-person marathon relay. And then even the day before, we have a 3K in Pacific Grove.
Okay. Is that the one for children?
Yeah, it's called By the Bay 3K, and that's actually our largest event now. We'll have over 5,000 children and adults running the 3K, which is about 1.8 miles from Lover's Point in Pacific Grove on Saturday, the day before the marathon.
Wow. I mean, that one has really grown.
It really has. It really has. Just the last few years, but it's really exciting.
It's such a great event, too, because it's like, you know, children and their parents or grandparents, whomever, all run together.
They do, and many of the schools compete against each other for participation, incentives, and awards. And we hope it's a way to start a lifetime of fitness for these young men and women.
Well, I know my grandson, I think he ran it one year. I don't know if he did it again. He has a little bit of a disability when it comes to running, but they were training for it at school, and they just really hype it up, so that's wonderful. But, you know, it's interesting that you have the different races, you know, and the different miles and things, so, you know, anybody at any level can really participate, and we have some that are just walkers.
Exactly.
You don't have to be a runner, per se.
You don't, and that's why we started the shorter distances. Not everybody can or wants to run a marathon, 26.2 miles. So one of the first events we added was the 21-mile walk for people who wanted to experience the coast, but maybe either couldn't finish under the timeline, because we do have to get that highway reopened in 6 hours, or just the training suits them better to go 21 miles. So we actually begin that 21-mile event 5 miles into the course at Andrew Malera. So it's still point to point on Highway 1. They just start 5 miles into the marathon course.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so your participants, like we said, global, I mean, people from all over.
All 50 states are represented.
Okay.
And we usually have about 30 countries coming all the way to beautiful Monterey Peninsula to run this event. So the economic impact of that is considerable, the tourism impact.
Oh, sure.
And what most people don't know is about 80% of our marathoners only do our race one time. It's what is called a bucket list event.
Okay, got it.
So they want to run, you know, maybe they're marathoners, maybe they want to do Chicago, New York, London, Berlin, but a lot of them also want to do Big Sur because there's nothing else like it.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
It's not like running through through a city. Like,
no.
You know, like Boston.
Exactly.
Or,
as we know, there are no stoplights on our course.
No.
There's really no intersections per se, and there's probably more cows than spectators. Along
but
the course. But you
draw a huge spectator
We do,
crowd.
particularly at the finish line, which is at Highway 1 and Rio Road, near Crossroads, and through the Carmel Highlands and some of those areas. but people get the chance to run on that amazing highway and the curves and hills and scenic views as the road hugs the shoreline. And we call it running on the ragged edge of the Western world.
There's
And
nothing like it.
those of us who
Nothing
live
like
here know how ragged that edge can be.
Yes,
So,
true.
yeah, it's
So
amazing.
it probably surprises a few people on their first time. I think it would be hard to run and not stop and go, oh, let's stop and look at this scenery.
They do that,
Do
Joy.
do that?
They stop, they take pictures. Now this is, of course, the selfie generation,
Sure.
right? So you see everybody with their cameras and their phones, and they're stopping and they're enjoying the views, because, again, for many of them, it's the only chance they're going to have to experience running down that highway. You can drive down it, but running it is something that's unique to our event.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, I know that people, want to run the marathon, and like you said, you have a lottery now because that thing sells out so quickly. I mean, once I'd say the floodgates open and registration begins, it's pretty quick.
It is.
And then you also have your, I guess it's an expo?
Yeah, so starting on Friday of race weekend, and we're always the last Sunday in April. So the Friday and Saturday before race day at the Monterey Conference Center, when it's finished with its renovations, now at the Portola Hotel right next door, we have a day and a half expo. So people can check in, pick up their materials, their shirt, their race number, etc., but also shop for souvenirs. We have a lot of merchandise for people to commemorate participating in the event, maybe look at other products, services, other races, find out some nutrition, maybe get other information about the area. A lot of people are, again, here for the first time, so we have information booths about where to eat and what other things to do. Because many people stay 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights. This is a vacation, particularly for those international travelers. They often take this as a 1 or 2 or 3 week vacation, and they travel up the coast, they go up to San Francisco, they go down to LA, they go to the aquarium, they go to the Steinbeck Center. So there's information about what else to do while you're in town. Hit Cannery Row, go to the wharf, etc.
So that's great. So they can visit your vendors and your sponsors and things like that at the
Exactly.
expo.
Exactly.
And then you have your little village at the finish line,
Yeah,
right?
we turn that grass field right next to Crossroads Shopping Center.
That's a
Highway
production.
1.
I've been down there.
It is. It's, we have thousands of square feet of tents and tables and chairs, and we create a little city down there because we have all the different distances. There are about 10,000 runners completing all the different distances, and then people bring an average of 3.5 people with them. So suddenly you've got 20, 30,000 people going in and out of that area on race day. So it's quite an experience.
It's a big excitement.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hype going on down there. But now you're a nonprofit.
We are.
And so let's talk about that a little bit. And, what comes back to the community and to your beneficiaries.
Exactly. We are a nonprofit organization. We provide grants to the groups that help us organize the event. This year we're expected to do about $275,000 just for the April weekend alone, back to community groups, other nonprofit organizations in the Monterey Peninsula as well as in Big Sur. And then our participants raise money for a variety of charities as well. Between our April marathon weekend, our November half marathon weekend, and some of our other year-round programs, like our Just Run youth running program, more than $1 million was generated from Big Sur Marathon events to other nonprofit organizations. So we're really pleased to give back to our community.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And, and I know locally we appreciate that so much. There's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of people to put this on.
It does.
I mean, a lot of, and I don't know the size of your paid staff, but I know volunteer-wise, it's pretty monumental, the number of people that it takes to put this event on.
It is, Joy. We have about 2,200 volunteers that help put on the April race weekend. We have a core committee of about 100. There are blue jackets like this that wear the blue sport coats on race weekend. You'll see them doing a variety of functions, everything from coordinating the people handing out water on the course, putting out signs and equipment, building that finished village, handing out the shirts, the numbers, working with the kids race, etc. That's our core group of about 100. That's our events committee. We do have a paid staff of 6, but the real work is done by the 2,200 volunteers that come from about 75 different community groups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have volunteers from outside the country? Or is it mostly local?
It's mostly locals
Okay.
because the grants go back to local nonprofit
Okay,
groups.
all right. So they're kind of earning their
Yes,
their
exactly.
grant money. Okay.
It's a fundraiser for a lot of these groups, whether it's a school group that might help fund a field trip or a scout troop or adult service club or other organizations or agencies. So we're a nonprofit and we give back to other nonprofits.
Okay, fantastic. Always like to hear that. So I know you've had a lot of success stories. Challenges, have you had any? Well, I know you've had challenges with weather-related things that have occurred, or I don't want to say disasters, but they're disasters. So I know we've worked around that, but just from a business perspective, are there challenges with putting on the marathon?
Sure. There are the challenge of overcoming the inconvenience to residents. After all, we are closing, or at least delaying. We do have ways to get people up and down the coast during the race because we're only on one side of Highway 1, so the other side is open for metered traffic in each direction. So that's part of the challenge, is to minimize the disruption to the residents and businesses along the course. Certainly weather has been a challenge for us. That, Mother Nature has created that wonderful coast by millions of years of rain and wind and ocean. Well, sometimes that can cause the mudslides, that can cause bridges to fail, road surfaces to fail. So there have been a couple of times in our 30-plus year history where we haven't been able to do the course as designed. We've had to go out and back because of problems with the course.
Sure.
This year, knock on wood, things are looking like we're going to be able to maintain the full 26.2 point-to-point distance.
Okay, so you don't have to do any creative
just a little
rerouting,
a little
bit,
a little creative with where we drop off our marathoners at the start line, because normally they would go past the start,
right,
go to a wide turnaround area and come back. But as we know, because of the Pfeiffer Canyon Bridge, you can't drive south of the multi-use agency, which is where our race starts.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been with the marathon?
4 years.
4 years.
I came here in 2013, was my first year for the marathon. There's only been 3 race directors in the history of the organization. I'm the 4th. So there's a history of long tenure with the race director, executive director position. I've been a race director around the country for other races for over 30 years. So I was very excited to apply for the position here because I knew the race had an amazing reputation. I was living in San Diego at the time, nice place to live, but I also knew that this was a special place to live too. So I was very excited when I was offered the position.
So good. San Diego to Monterey,
pretty
similar, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and beautiful areas that people love to visit, and so it's great. I've been a runner for about 40 years. I've run 30 marathons, and I ran this marathon way back in 1992. So it's fun for me to come back and be the director of it after having run it some 25 years ago.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And so the community, have you done any other things in the community or gotten involved?
I have.
Just a little bit about yourself so that people get to know you that don't.
It's a wonderful community, and I'm really getting to I'm really enjoying, I'm part of the local cycling community, the local triathlon community, the local swimming community, both the open water swimming and as well as pool swimming with the local masters clubs, etc. So that's fun for me because I'm kind of an endurance sports junkie.
I was going to say that's probably why I've never seen you, because I'm not.
So that's fun. And then I've gotten involved in some other nonprofits in the area. We want to give back. The job does keep me pretty busy.
Sure.
And it's been fun for me just to get to know the area. I'd visited here before. I'd run the race before. But for me, I live in Carmel. I've lived in Pacific Grove. I have friends all over the peninsula. I ride my bike all over the peninsula, on-road and off-road. So that part's really been fun.
So when we talk about how great it is to live and work in this community, I guess we could say that you would be an advocate for that.
I certainly would be. And I can tell you, when we go to other races around the country to promote our event,
right.
and I'll be working a booth at an expo for other races. And people will actually ask me, do you actually live there? They see these pictures and they see the coast and they hear about Carmel and they know about Clint Eastwood and they know about Cannery Row and they know about the aquarium. Sometimes they wonder, do people actually live in such a beautiful, amazing area? And we say, yeah, we actually live there.
Yeah, we're a pretty small community when you think about it.
Is.
But it's a vibrant community and there's a lot going on all the time. And like you said, with the nonprofits, we have quite a few of them. So it's nice to be able to funnel out the proceeds and divvy it up, all around. It makes a big difference.
It does. It does.
So anything else you want to tell me about the marathon? Or
Well, again, the marathon is an exciting event coming up the end of April. It's one of 4 event weekends that we produce. So the marathon organization also produces the Monterey Bay Half Marathon, which is in November. The Run in the Name of Love 5K, which is in Carmel on Father's Day in June. And now we also produce the Salinas Valley Half Marathon.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Which is the first Saturday in August. So we have 4 event weekends.
So 4 events.
Plus we have our year-round Just Run youth fitness program, which is national.
And that half marathon, I know that's grown as
it,
well.
It is
How
capacity
long has that
limited.
been around?
This will be, I think, year 16, either 15 or 16 for the half marathon. It's the November 12th this year, and it has 9,000 participants. So in Monterey and Pacific Grove, so it's a very large event.
So that's grown quite a bit, and it's nice to know that you're taking over the Salinas Valley
It is
Marathon as well, because that one is also growing too.
Yeah, it's about 1,100 to 1,200 participants through the Salinas Valley, through the vineyards and the agricultural fields. It finishes at a winery. It starts at a mission, finishes at a winery.
Oh, how can you go wrong with that?
Exactly. So it's a great opportunity.
So I think
to
as
showcase.
you build that and people learn more about it, I think that one will actually.
And we have
a
special prizes for people who do 3 of our 4 events.
Oh, okay.
Big medal and some different recognition.
So kind of a marathon club.
Yeah, we call it the Waves to Wine
Waves
because
to wine.
of from the ocean to the vineyards.
That sounds fantastic. Well, gosh, all the different venues that you use for the marathons. I mean, the coast, the fields, the agriculture, the Pacific Grove, and along that route. So many choices and so many great things.
Well, we like to highlight everything that's available, in the area,
Sure.
in Monterey County. And again, we're happy. Each of those events also gives back to the community, so we're happy to help others.
Well, thanks so much for taking some time and telling us all about all the activities and all the things that the Big Sur International Marathon does in our community and the exposure that we get around the world for such a great event. Thank you so much.
We hope to see everybody out there April 30th, Marathon Weekend.
Thank you.